Hello. I'm very sorry about my appearance right now. In case you guys don't know, my name is Codemaster Jamal. Right now I'm currently homeless. I'm not on YouTube right now trying to ask you guys for money, making sure you guys get some good audio for the most part. This is not one of those videos. The truth of the fact is, right now I'm homeless by my own decision right now. If I wanted to get off the streets, I can get off the streets. But I told you guys through Discord that I was going to be making a video announcement on YouTube, and this is it. But the truth of the fact is, this announcement is not going to reach my Discord server because I decided to shut it down. Just like how in this video, let me sit up a tad bit. In this video, I'm going to be addressing, and I'm very, very sorry because normally when it comes to making videos, I always make sure I have a clean cut. I'm always dressed really well, nice, and I wash my face and that type of thing. So I'm very sorry about my appearance. Otherwise, I have some different videos I'm going to be releasing. And like I said before, I didn't want to make any controversial content, but this is controversial content. This is going to stir up the butterflies in people's stomachs, and people are going to get bubble guts and all types of things, diarrhea, vomit. All types of bodily fluids are going to be wasted out of them, basically. So I shouldn't talk about it too much because we're at a coffee shop right now. But it is what it is. But basically, this video is about the open beta of Virtual Monsters and how I'm actually going to be shutting down my server in general. The reason why I shut down my server for Discord is because I realized the thing is, I've been working on the open beta for a while. I've been homeless for a long time. I've been homeless since about, I've been homeless. I can't really say like how long I've actually been homeless, cause technically I've been homeless since I was 18, but that's a different story. I've been looking for like it's a lot of different things, and I'm about to lose my license. Right, my license expires. I'm going on 34 in November this month. It's specifically 22 days from now, and my license is going to suspend next year. So like, even if I still had a car, it wouldn't make a difference because my license was going to get suspended, and then I was going to get caught driving a car without a license, and I would have several more legal consequences. But that's all it is. They stomped me out of my generation. But the point being is that I wanted to show you something. And the real reason why I wanted to show you something is because right now, if you were to go to my website, which is mw-industries.com, right now I actually just uploaded a okay, so here we go. This is my website right here for MW Industries, right? Right now it's giving me an internal 500 error, which basically means that it's not able to, either my website got DOSed a bunch of times and somehow somebody decided to shut it down. But even when I ask for help, because I do things, I'm hosting a website through Hosting24 or Hostinger. Oh man, I was just looking for the message that it just left me, but it just updated something, and I'm just gonna ask you a question. My website is down. Can you help me put it back up? Because we gotta ask Cody. And the only problem with this is that yes, it's AI assistance, and sometimes it does help, but sometimes it's best just to get like an actual human being, because, and the answer to that is yes. Because it was basically telling me before that I needed to update my PHP. Currently, in order to run my server, I'm using PHP 7.4. If I update it to PHP 8, a lot of functions that I'm using right now in PHP are basically deprecated, which means that they're no longer being worked on. They're completely obsolete, and they're not compatible. And there we go again. It's telling you before. It says, Jamal, a 500 internal server has been identified on mw-industries.com, which is preventing your website from working. You can find detailed steps to fix this issue in this guide. How to fix 500 internal server. If you've already tried these steps or need help with a specific part of the process, please let me know what you've done so far or where you need assistance. And we're just going to click this link to show you what it's about. And all it's going to tell me is that basically I need to update my PHP. But that's where we're going to have a problem, because if I update my PHP, and it says right here, change your PHP version. If we update my PHP, that's going to break a lot of the code basically in my program, essentially. That's going to break the code for my server. And the way how my server is actually working is that I have an actual server program, which is a .exe, and then I have the website essentially. What the .exe does is that it is a web server, web service essentially. What the web server does is that it basically within C#, I don't know entirely what to call it entirely. I forgot the exact name of it actually, but in C#, basically what you're doing is that you're doing a web request to a PHP script. I'm sending some values, some variables to, not variables necessarily, some values to a PHP script, like a username and password. And then basically the script just checks the information, make sure you're not trying to do anything lethal to the database and those type of things. It just checks the information, make sure the username is valid, the password is correct, make sure that you actually have a valid account with us, and make sure that you actually pay for the game for the most part before it basically grabs the information from the database. It does a lot of things basically, like within one script, and then it basically grabs all the information, compiles it into a JSON, and then sends it back to the exe server essentially. So like that one PHP script also interacts with you're not just interacting with PHP, you're also interacting with MySQL, because we have to query a MySQL database in order to get our information back. So they changed up a lot of things in PHP 8 when it comes to MySQL. So if I were to update my PHP to a later version or like a newer version, it would essentially break all the code within my website. So regardless, I can't do this basically. But long story short, let me tell you guys the truth about that. Let's go back to this screen here where you can see my face just to give you guys different visuals. The truth about that is that this is not how you want to do an MMO. Now, if you were building, it is to a certain degree. If you were building an MMO like Adventure Quest 3D, Neverwinter, even World of Warcraft, this is basically how they do that type of thing. But this is not how you want to do that, essentially, especially if you are going to be building an MMO. What you want to do is that you don't want to go with shared hosting. What you want to do is you want to self-host, first off. You want to get your own computer that's designated to being a server. And then basically, you have to, there's some things, depending on if you're using Windows, Linux, Ubuntu, depending on what type of machine you're using. And this also, I got rid of Discord as well. It's like I got tired of people mocking me, but that's another thing. But we're gonna talk about that later. But if you're using things like those type of systems, is that you want your PHP server, your MySQL, the server program, which is the exe, and even all the files for your website, if you have a website up, all on one machine. And that when people are connecting, you need one designated computer. And essentially, you need a home Wi-Fi. You can't do this off of public Wi-Fi. You can't do this off of... you also need a Wi-Fi signal that's strong enough as well. Don't worry too much about graphics cards. And like, you know, like these days, the standard graphics card is a lot better than what we had back in 2010. Where, you know, I couldn't play Chaotic because I didn't have the right graphics card. So, that was something. And I don't even know why. Like, you know, there's technicalities to it. I don't know why. I don't even want to know why. But that's the point to it. And basically, my web server is technically, it's a shared service. Now, don't get me wrong. They did a great job. They support me really well. And like I told you guys before, I have a lot of enemies. I make money from the website, but it got so bad to the point where I rely on the web server because now I can't even, I had some issues with the open beta, basically with player instancing, the chat not working. As soon as you connect to the overworld, the client disconnects. And long story short, I think it's actually a better thing for me to actually, if you're going to be building an MMO, is actually put up a test server so you can actually test your game to make sure that it runs properly. Because when I test off of my machine, it works perfectly well. But when I test it off of, when I try to get people connected to it, it was just screwing up. Basically, it was going haywire. So like, long story short, like I should keep a server running like all year long that you can just connect to just to test your game, because I started fixing my errors essentially, and I found out like there were a lot of errors I had, but like I started fixing my errors eventually, and I have like a new update for the MMO. But basically, what I found out is that basically I can even test my server now because all the scripts that I use for PHP, they're online. The scripts I use to validate login, you know, update player profiles, you know, save information, etc., etc., etc. All those are online. I could always put it on my computer just to test it out. But once again, and that comes to the whole thing I was talking about before, where like you got to put in PHP, you got to get MySQL server. This is how I've been building my game. And basically that's all it is. All the files are on your machine, so you don't rely on another machine, because that's what's going on right now. And a lot of programming in 2025, or at least since 2020, is that like you're using a lot of interconnecting software in order to build one program. That's what it is these days, essentially. And in terms of my website, it was a good wiki, basically. It was a great way, because people don't want me making money off of my video game. That's all it is. They don't want me making money off my video game. That's all it is. I found a way to support myself. Like, you got that crazy ex-girlfriend, your mama don't like you, and that's all I figured out basically from doing this. I found out everybody hates me. Everybody. Your mama don't like you. Your daddy want to fight you. Your ex-wife, like she already shitting on you. It gets bad. It gets bad. It's more people than that. That's just people that are closest to me. It gets bad, bro. It gets really, really bad. Oh my god, it gets really, really bad, bro. It gets really, really bad. That's all I had to say. Like, you just, people start shitting on you. I've had people shoot guns at me. It's terrible. People start shitting on you. It gets terrible. I get what it is. The stereotype about black men, we're supposed to be really dumb. We're supposed to fall for traps and shit. So it's like, you're too smart to be a black man, that you gotta be a different race from us. It's like, it's some really, really racist things. It's some very, very, that's why I say it's controversial, because I've said this before. Their words, not mine. That was the point. I had some notes also. Make sure I touched up on a bit of notes. So like, I pretty much touched up on the note of why I'm shutting down. I also want to touch up on the note of Discord. I shut down Discord because I simply put, I realized that like I don't want to do another forum. Even though, yeah, I would like to do forums, because in all honesty, that's the best way to handle these type of things. I could obviously do this without a forum. Okay, I'm not too sure how good the audio is going to be, but I was editing this video and I just kind of want to put this in there. Another reason why I'm shutting down the web server, the forum, the message board, the Discord, and all these different things, all these different social media aspects, is that I come to the realization that these platforms, especially with the recent drama that I've seen happen with Roblox, is that it invites a lot of pedophiles. It becomes a playground for pedophiles, unfortunately. And just the whole aspect of making games in general is that it makes children a target for pedophiles, because this is typically how a lot of the times they can get into their lives. I personally don't want to talk about personal stories that's happened to me. They say if they can't get you as a child, they can always get you as an adult, basically. Like, people have this really sick mentality, is that I've never had the mind of a predator before, but looking into things like psychology and using things like my use of perception, is that I've started to kind of understand these type of people. It's still wrong, regardless. It's still wrong. But like, I kind of saw that happening in general. Is that like, when you make things like, if I do make games, they're not going to be multiplayer. They're not going to be online. Just because I like the craft of making a game. But it really, because I was a child, essentially. Basically, I like the craft of making games, but the whole aspect behind it is that it unfortunately creates a playground for pedophiles, because they know that a bunch of children are into this type of thing. And sometimes there's older adults, and like sometimes it's seen as like competitive esport and that type of thing. It essentially just creates a playground for pedophiles, because I used to play Pokemon, and like one of the forums, sometimes adults are just really messed up. I think a lot of the times, because when it comes to me talking to people, like, I'm not the type of person, I don't shit on people. All right, I try to build people, I try to uplift them. And even though, that behavior is wrong, that behavior can always be modified. That behavior where like they're always attracted to a younger woman because, like I said, they got stomped out of their generation. So they did the same thing to me, hoping I'd become a pedophile, and it ain't working, basically. But I understand, because I wasn't a jerk, essentially. Like, you should be really, in general speaking, it's really messed up, because they punish guys their entire lives because how they treat women. I understand not everybody's a Christian, but you should really learn to forgive people. And sometimes, bro, like, some guys, they don't deserve to be punished their entire lives. And this is coming I'm really speaking to an older generation, a generation that's older than me, because I've seen it happen a lot of times. It's really unfair. But at the same time, you need to learn how to modify your behavior. You as a man, you have to be careful how you treat women. guilty as charged. I said some really messed up things in the movie theater one time. And let's just say they really hated on me, but they was already hating on me for other reasons. They already hated on me because I was born with a lighter skin color. That's all it was. That's the start of it. That's the start of it. That's just the start of it. I didn't even know what they were talking about. I'm a black man. I'm black. I don't know what y'all talking about. Kind of found out like I'm like my grandmother is like you know I used to hide it basically. I used to hide it all the time. My grandmother is like half native and half like sweet. She's something. My grandma light skin. That's all it is. So like she's something. So I didn't really think that much of it. Yeah, I didn't think that much of it. I didn't really think it would give me that much of a problem, but it was on me like day one. Like, I'm sorry, just to add into that video on another note is that I was already putting things into my software that actually stopped people from like communicating. Like if you're in a different age group from communicating with someone that's in a lower age group. Now with things like the chat system, like you've probably seen it in, I'm gonna put some type of screen. I'm going to put something up on the screen right now to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Probably zoom in and show you that there's like a little chat system in the game. There's a little chat box inside the game. Outside of that, I don't think people would necessarily use that too much. But then the website itself, within the website, this doesn't apply to that little chat box. But within the website, I already set up something where like you couldn't talk to people outside of your age group. If you're like under the age of 18, you can only talk to people that are like 18 and under, or like. Worst case scenario, you can talk to people that are up to like 21 because you may have known them in high school or something like that, but I don't think you would know like a graduating senior in college, or maybe you do, who knows. And like if you're like the age of 21, by the time you're 25 you can pretty much talk to anybody essentially. If you were like an older age group than that, then you can, like if you were like 30, you can talk to somebody that was 18 basically. So I set up things within the software itself that kind of prevented that type of thing, but I kind of saw that type of thing happening where like your game is always viable for getting sued just because like it creates a playground for pedophiles, and that's just something that you figure out as a game developer, and that's just a lesson that you learn for it. Half the time people just hope that I'm really stupid and I fall for these type of things, but I still haven't finished my game. I finished one and people are just mad because for other reasons. People are mad about other reasons, like North and South Carolina is a trip. That's all it is. Like, living in the South in general is a trip. It's like watching South Park. You guys have a great one. Take care. Without a website, but like it's just a way of making money to support the project. And as you can see, I have a 500 error. The open beta is currently November 2nd, and the open beta was supposed to end around November 5th. November 10th the latest, because I rented the server until November 10th. Basically, and the moment I put up the video, the website went down basically, and like I already knew what it was. Like I've had these issues before. They could have did this to me a long time ago essentially. They just waited until now to do that. Yeah, I'm supposed to be paying the bill in November, and they all know I went broke. That's another thing. I lost my job, but like I said, I can always get a job back or find some alternative ways of making money that doesn't include male prostitution. Like you know, I should become a male prostitute to figure out like who actually spends their money on these type of things. You know, like so I can figure out how to take away their money. That's interesting. That's what it did to me. Just trying to say that's what it did to me. But basically, what else? I know I'm missing some things. But yeah, but basically, I had to get rid of Discord. People, it got kind of annoying. Like, yeah, there was only one guy there that kept it active, but he scared away a lot of people. He would just start fights with a lot of people. People wouldn't get along. I guess because he's French and another guy's Muslim. The French and Muslim people, they don't get along. And like the Muslim guy left, and I felt really bad for the guys. I invited him back in. And then like he kind of took his like, and then you know like him and another girl named there's a girl named Olivia. On one of my devlogs for Virtual Monsters, I mentioned something about fan art. Essentially, somebody submitted fan art for me for Virtual Monsters. I guess they found me through DeviantArt, which I'm finding out now is actually like a German-based website, or something like that. I could be wrong. But basically, you know, like they didn't understand the aspect of me having a website when I have a Discord, and I was just saying like, hey, look, I just use that to basically, even though yeah, you can use Discord, I figured out, you know, how to use Steam you know, technically you could use itch.io to verify usernames and passwords, but like there's still like some technical things to it. That's why I don't want to entirely say it. There's still some technical aspects to it, to the point where you still have to store their information, their player information, their save files into a database of your own. Yes, you can use them to validate users, but it's not going to make a difference. Basically, it's not going to make a difference. And you know, they said something about like how, what's the point of signing up for the website when there isn't a game? But like, I've been releasing games, I've been releasing products, I've been releasing things, and like they still won't sign up. So like, I released the open beta and they kind of said that to me, and I realized they really tried me, and that was just a slap in my face, and I just decided to bitch slap them. So I shut down Discord. I shut down Discord. There's I feel okay. The only person that's really cool in there was a guy named Mugen Attack and a guy named The Legend of Chocolate. I invited some people from like my old forums, but then, you know, they brought the drama from my old forums in there, and that's why I started messing with them, because I realized after a while they're not really fans. They're not really fans, and like I thought it was really cool because, you know, they have fan art and they submitted it, but they're not really fans. They're not really fans because they started antagonizing me, and it's just like they started hating on me. As soon as I released the open beta, everybody started hating on me. I mean, they was already hating on me, but you know, the people I thought they were my fans, they started hating on me, and I just realized after a while that, you know, Discord's not good for you. Discord, forums, even Instagram, social media is not good for you. Basically, social media is a very toxic place. It's not good for you. Heck, YouTube isn't good for you. And that's the next thing about it, is that like I'm getting rid of. I think I might keep TikTok. I might keep X or Twitter. I'm obviously going to still be using Game Jolt and Itch, but I'll find other platforms just to post my games on, because I found out after a while, like, those people aren't really your friends. They aren't your friends. They aren't your fans. Half the time, you know, you shouldn't be friends with other developers because they're just trying to rip you off. Half the time, you know, they're hoping that I give them they release my source code to them, because they can't figure out how to do the exact same thing in Unity. They can't figure it out themselves. And eventually I was going to be writing some tutorials and showing you guys how to do those type of things regardless. It's just that they're not paying me money. I'm out here homeless right now. I'm not making any money off of it. And that's fine, because the truth of the fact is I had a job, okay? Like, the way how I saw this whole YouTube thing, I could do it on the side. I had a job, right? I was never trying to make a living off of it. If I could, that'd be awesome, right? If I can make a living as a video game developer, a YouTuber, etc., etc., if I can make a living off my art, that'd be great. But realistically speaking, I knew that wasn't entirely possible. So that was the thing about it. I knew that wasn't entirely possible. Even though it is, but I just got too many haters, bro. But the truth of the fact is that, you know, Discord, it showed me like who people really are. You know, who people really are. Because, you know, they keep asking that, oh, why don't you release a devlog? Because I was just telling them about like some of the updates I made in my games. Like, why don't you release a devlog? Right? Like, dude, you know how long it takes me to make a devlog? It takes me a really long time to make a devlog. It takes a long time for me to make videos in general, on top of working on the game, working on the website. They got mad because I made a launcher for my game. That's what they're mad about. They don't realize that, like, you know, a part of development, you know, there's marketing, there's development, there's also something called distribution. But once again, these are also people that have never actually released a game, or they show me a game, it's just a Steam page, but it's not a game that I can actually play. And they show me screenshots, but once again, it's not a game that I can actually play. But I have games that you can actually play. I finished Dragon Ball Z Ultimate End, and I did that for a reason. I did it for a reason. This should show him I wasn't playing around. I wasn't playing. I was serious. And that's what it is. I did this mainly as a hobby, and I'll actually show you guys some numbers, actually, how much money I actually made. That'll be the next thing, right? We're gonna look at the next thing, how much money I actually made as an indie game developer, like from. Because people just think I'm just trying to scam them. But the truth of the fact is, I'm trying to give you a really, really good product for a very, very cheap price. And I know, like, on the website, it says I was selling the game for, like, $34.99. That's not what it is, basically. I was willing to give people the game for free if I got enough people to sign up for the website, and I got enough people that were using the website monthly, basically. Either, like, you know, I decided to turn the website into sort of like a Wikipedia page, where you can look up information on, like, monsters and different elements and etc., etc., etc. I decided to do that with the game, and like they really hated on it. But like I said, I'm still going to show you guys how much money I made. There's just certain things I have to keep. I'll blur it out in the video. Like right now, I'm actually in the process of I got like another 50 seconds until like a certain video uploads. But let's do this now. But I'm just gonna show you guys. I just gotta blur out certain things in the video. But like so far, that's all I made. I have to make $100 in order to cash out on it. But that's all I made basically. And basically, the money I made from AdSense from the website is completely different from what I get from YouTube. Now the combination that would have been great. That would have been great. And now let's see something else. You know, like, because also, you know, I released my card game Tales of Armadaria on the Game Crafter. So like, that's how much I made. I made $40, and that's why they shut down the website. I was balling. You know, I was still an Uber driver. You know, like, and that was the next thing I was going to talk to you about, like how I lost my job. How do you lose your job as an Uber driver? I didn't really lose my job. How you lose a job as an Uber driver? There's like one of three things. First off, the word is sabotage. Sabotage. That's the word for you. The word is sabotage, and I might actually make this like a separate video, just to do like some extra things, because it's going on a little off topic on how I lost my job. It's a little too much information, but how you lose your job as an Uber driver: either A, you're living in a city that really hates you, and everybody that gets in your car decides to give you a 1-star rating, because when you're working on a video game, people feel like you're trying to sell them something. The psychology behind it, people feel like you're trying to sell them something. And we practice something called democratic socialism. You're not allowed to work in 2 different industries at the same time, basically. Now, as a YouTuber, theoretically speaking, I'm allowed to be an Uber driver, and because I don't fuck with communism. I'm allowed to be a YouTuber. I'm allowed to be a YouTuber and then work jobs like Uber and DoorDash, because those are technology-based businesses. So you're allowed to do that, and that's a loophole around it. You're allowed to do that, basically. So there's nothing they can do about that. But basically, that's the first way you lose your job as an Uber driver, is that everybody gives you a 1-star rating, everybody gives you a bad review. Everybody just shits on you. Everybody just shits on you because they really don't want you to finish Virtual Monsters. So that's the first thing. You know, even to the point where people have gotten into the car and be like, Jamal, you still working on Virtual Monsters? Bro, I never met this guy before. How the hell does he know my name? I understand. They know from Uber. I'm a really famous Uber driver. And if I say, and you know what? I just tell them, yeah, I'm still working on Virtual Monsters. I ain't getting it. I'm not supporting that. I'm not supporting Virtual Monsters. Nah. And basically what they do is that, you know, like what they do is that they just cancel the ride, basically. They cancel the ride. You know, I try to work at Amazon Flex. People start putting the wrong packages on your route. You know, I started working for DoorDash. People started saying that, oh, he got my order wrong. How did I get your order wrong? That thing is packaged up before I even get to you. How did I get your order wrong? Oh, I forgot the mayonnaise on your burger. I forgot the tomato and cheese on your damn chicken sandwich. How the hell did I fuck your order? I'm not the one cooking that shit. And that's the point. See, that's why I start cussing. I start getting real gangster with it. They bring out my inner thug. You don't want to wake that nigga up. So that's the first way they destroy you as an Uber driver or like somebody that works in rideshare, right? That's the first way. The second way, sabotage. They have to mess up your car. They gotta mess up your car. Either A, they keep giving you flat tires, because I found this little like it's like a metal steel blade device that was stuck in my tires. You think that's to help out mechanics? Nope. And that's another thing. I got threatened by mechanics up here while I was here. Like, they're saying that, oh, if I don't buy the... Like, basically, every time you come into one of their shops, I just didn't realize what they were saying to me, because I was just like, huh? It's like, what? They said that when I had my 2016 Toyota Corolla, that, oh, if I didn't get the transmission flush, they were going to do something messed up to me, because they knew how much money I had. And that's why I'm going to talk about this later, about how, like, my parents are helping them out, basically. My account got hacked, essentially. They had access to my bank account. They knew exactly how much money I had in my bank account. So that, imagine, when you go to, like, the grocery store, instead of something like, I just want to go buy some grapes, them grapes are supposed to be $1.49, right? Or it's supposed to be $1.49 a pound. So I'm a little ignorant about this. Like, they had it right. But this is just an example of how, like, they can price gouge you, essentially, because they know you got $700 in your account. So even though, yeah, the parts might cost $300 to $400, they still gonna charge you $800 because they know you got $700. And they check your credit. Your credit is good enough to a point where you make $700 a week. So we can charge you $800 for some parts and just put it on, like I said, bro. And if you don't do that, they gonna mess up your car. That's all it is. Like, I heard them say that, and I was like, what? Because I got the transmission flush, and I just didn't think anything of it, because I was like, yeah, my car needed a transmission flush, so I got it. And the next time that happened, it was something else. Like, it was like the brakes, right? Now, yes, my car needed brakes. This is my 2016 Toyota Corolla. My car needed brakes, but that's not why I got into the accident. Because like I couldn't afford them. I was just like, hey, look. And at the time, I could have just did something else. You know, that's why I figured out about being an Uber driver is that you can't just work one app. You have to work multiple apps. You have to work Uber, you have to do Lyft, you have to do Amazon Flex, you have to do DoorDash. You can't just work one app. You know, okay, I can't do rideshare this weekend because, you know, it was Super Bowl weekend. I was going to be making a lot of money. And the true fact is, I could have just bought the brakes, but they were going to put me in debt. There's like a credit system at the dealership, basically. I have $3,000 worth of credit. So like they can give me $800 worth of credit in order to fix my brakes, but I still got to pay it off by the 30th, otherwise, and within 30 days, or they're gonna start charging me interest. And I already got student loans, and I already got like a shit ton of problems on my hands. You understand? I already got so many problems that's just like, yo, dog, that's the only reason why I didn't want it. I ain't want it. All right, I ain't want it. And they fucked me over, dog. They fucked me over big time. They fucked me over. Big time. Big time. And that's all that was. You know, and that's all it is. They send somebody to hit your car. How they do that? Well, you're on the family plan with your parents, right? And of course, your dear loving old parents, right? You love them to death. They getting old. They getting to the point where they getting old, and they're kind of cute with it, with how old they are. Oh boy. If you guys senile, my grandma was senile. That's like a genetic trait. I don't look forward to getting old anymore. I don't look forward to it anymore. And that's how I figured out my parents have a mental problem, essentially. And it's not their fault. But yeah, basically, because that's how they got access to my bank account, because it was basically a student bank account. And at the time I was with BB&T. As you know, BB&T and SunTrust Bank, they merged together to become Truist, essentially. And no, it's not to hide it. I would still have a Truist bank account because they can convert your bank account, basically. But that's how they did it, basically. It was a student bank account, so that way they don't charge you monthly fees. As long as I'm a student, they don't charge you monthly fees. But the truth of the fact is, I should have just gone to Bank of America because they're a better bank. BB&T, they don't know how to run a bank. That's why they end up going bankrupt. You know, like, at the time, I was in my 20s, and, like, I don't know. The internet wasn't as good as it is now. You can't research things the way how you can now. So, like, you know, like, research a bank. Like, hey, is this actually a good bank? Before you actually put your money there. Because you're giving them their money, and that's how they pay their bills. You know, like, there's the secret to, like, running a bank is, like, some other stuff. But that's basically why and if you don't believe me, that's why they had a merger in the first place. Because the truth of the fact is, they didn't know how to run a bank. The people working there, they didn't know how to run a bank. And the fact that, you know, so many people can have access to your bank account and just see how much money you have in it. And that was the point. They just see how much money you have in it, so they can charge you any amount of money for things. Even when I go across the street to this gas station, I mean, I understand on Saturdays sometimes, and that doesn't make any difference. I worked in culinary. Like, once they put like a set price on things, the other thing, they can't charge you more tax. I don't know. I'm living in a different state. Florida state taxes, because in Florida you barely pay taxes. I mean, they tax the crap out of the working class, but you barely pay taxes, basically. You don't pay taxes on your car. I think you pay property taxes, and that's in most places. But some people just don't pay their property taxes. But you know, they end up losing them eventually. But basically, yeah, they did some really crooked stuff. They had me on GPS. Basically, that's how they were able to like stage a car accident, essentially. You know, and they talk about Florida, basically, with like, and that's why I figured out about insurance. They say that insurance rates, they just give you some for all the rideshare people out there. That's why I decided to make this a different video. You know, they say that insurance rates, this is one of the biggest scams they actually pull out there, especially when it comes to auto insurance. They say that insurance rates are different depending on your state. Here's the secret to it. You pay the exact same, I'm trying not to cuss anymore. You pay the exact same amount of, because they cuss a lot out here. But like you pay the exact same amount of money for your insurance that you do in one state versus the other. The amount that you're paying in Florida is the exact same amount that you're going to pay in South Carolina, the exact same amount you're going to pay in New York. It doesn't matter where you go to. It's going to be the exact same amount, basically, for some basic insurance. I think other forms of insurance may differ, like life insurance may differ. But I'm not entirely sure. Like at one point, I was going to become an insurance salesman. But I can't work the job because I don't have a car. I can't ride to my client's house. I can't show it to them in person. So that's all it is. But yeah, outside of that, this video is getting a little long. This video is over half an hour, and at this point, I talked about like me, but basically I talked about how I lost my job, like how I lost that's basically how I lost my. I'll talk more about this in another video about how I lost my 2016 Toyota Corolla. But right now, I'm just gonna make that part just some extra credits, basically. That's basically why I'm homeless. Essentially, is that basically they took a crap on my car. You know, and people fight dirty. People fight really, really dirty. Not everybody's like a very, very clean, you know, not everybody's a professional fighter, you know. You know, in boxing, you're not allowed to use your feet. There's no kicking in boxing. That's why they make it Muay Thai. They call it kickboxing, you know. At least you're not, you know, in wrestling, you know, it's about grappling moves. You're not allowed to throw a punch necessarily in wrestling, in certain forms of wrestling. Or like a jab or anything like that. You know, there's a reason why there's like fighting is like that. You know, people fight very, very dirty in order to win, basically. And the worst thing about like I'm living in a racist state, by the way, but like notoriously known racist state, notoriously known. So like but the worst thing about that is that I'm just gonna tell you the truth. Yeah, there's a lot of racist white people, there's a lot of racist black people, but the truth of the fact is that your people, especially if you're a person of color, they help them out. You're not going to be a stereotype, you're not going to be a loser, you're not going to be like the worst person. Like I said, I'm a disgrace to my race because I'm not gay and I'm not a criminal. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it is. I'm a disgrace. But you find out a lot of people's cultures are just like that, and that's all it really is. But thank you. Once again, thank you for watching the video. I'm going to stop advertising my Discord. I'm going to stop advertising my website for now. I'm shutting down the website. I might put it back up. If I do, it's going to be on like a personal, like I'm going to have a better server for it because I'm going to start self-hosting essentially. But or not. Am I still working on Virtual Monsters? I'm going to keep it quiet. I will be canceling Tales of Armadillo TCG. And that's what it is about Virtual Monsters, is that I can make it multiplayer. I can make it online. I basically succeeded at that. I finished the game. To a certain degree. Yeah, it's missing a lot of features. It ain't completely done. But that's what these past 3 years have been. Since 2022, since I showed off my character creation system, that I can actually do it. And I showed them that it actually works. That the game itself works, right? And I'm actually gonna let you guys play it. I'm actually gonna let you guys play it. You guys are gonna see what it is. I'm not gonna tell you guys what I'm gonna do with it, but I'm gonna let you guys play it and enjoy it. It's still a game, but I hope you guys enjoy it. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna show you. Like, I did not make a lot. They're absolutely right. I didn't make a lot of money. But I was beginning to make some kind of profit off of my adventures as a indie game developer. You know, this is how much money I made from my website. Basically, I made like $40 off of AdSense from my website. I was making like 20 cents a month. Essentially, if I had like over 100 members, I could basically I can multiply that number basically by 100, and that it'd be like $20 a month or something like that. So, you know, it's not that bad. But I need at least like 4,000 to 5,000 visits per month in order to make like a substantial amount of income. And that's all that is essentially. But eventually they'll shut down that site, and that's all that happens. Now let's look at this. Now this is how much money I made off of Tales of Armadillo. I only sold one pack, fortunately. I only sold one pack, but still, it's still $1.27. I still made a profit. Just to show you this. And this is how much money I made, because right now when it comes to my music is on 2 different platforms. I have it on DistroKid and CD Baby. So like I made a total of $7.21 off my music for like, we're gonna say the first 2 albums I have, and for the last 2 albums I released, I made $1.49 basically. So that's all that is essentially. And the thing about my music is that I can always make music over a lifetime. So that's why I'm not too worried about that. Versus like sales, I have to get people to actually buy my things, and then AdSense, I have to get people to actually view my website, essentially. But yeah, I basically just made like 25 cents last month, and I was hoping to make a little bit more. But that's what I was saying. Like if I could keep up my server throughout the entire year, I would have made a lot more money. I would have made more. I would have made more money. And essentially, and that was just one strategy. But basically, you saw what it was. Could I make a living as a game developer? Yes, I can. Yes, I can. As far as like, was it worth like how hard I worked? Not entirely, but like, yeah, it was. It was. It's just what it really was is sabotage. Because if I could actually finish my game, I'd probably be balling. And long story short, I figured out how to live. I figured out how to survive. Like I'm 30. I'm 33. That's why I'm out here homeless. You know, I'm sleeping in 40-degree weather. I'm a Floridian. Normally, I would shrivel up and die from that type of weather. Like the moment it hits 50 degrees, we, you know, we bring the hoodies out. We got the hoodies, we got the UGG boots, we got everything on. That's all it is, you know. And that's why I look like crap. You're probably getting tired of looking at this screen, but that's basically what it is. But you know, let's say I'm a Christian. I learned something. You know, love your enemy, and that's all that was. Once again, my name is Codemaster Jamal. Thank you for watching my content. If you like this type of video, make sure to like and subscribe for more content. Leave comments. Tell me how you feel about this. Please leave responses. Once again, at some point, I'd like to get back to working on virtual monsters. Keep making games. Till next time, this is Codemaster Jamal. I'm signing out.